Hello and welcome to what I believe is episode number 274 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be Monday Night Raw in week 1 of August 2022, and we continue the road to SummerSlam. Fresh off last week's Bash at the Beach extravaganza, just a normal Raw here tonight, because doing special episodes of your television show is overkill if they do them every single week. Cough, cough. But without any further ado, let's just jump straight into the show. We kick off with a hot opening. Like, the intro starts playing, the then now forever thing starts running. But then we cut it off early because, similar to the Raw in real life with Logan Paul and The Miz brawling, we just see just a fucking massive fucking brawl going on all around the arena. And it's every single member of the Balor Club, every single member of the Regal Coalition, every single member of Hit Row, Hurt Business, and Path of the Dragon, all just in this massive brawl. Probably Zergus gets a big spotlight, chokeslams two of the smaller guys onto a massive pile of people. Shit like that. Gunther will chop someone, and Lashley spears someone through a barricade, and just shit like that. It's all chaos. Nobody can control it. Referees and road agents are running out. Nobody can stop them because there's too many people. These so many gangs. At least to Alexa coming out, she's still kind of pissed off, and yes, God, actually no, I kind of want to keep it somewhat realistic because in the wrestling terms, it has been a week, so she probably wouldn't still be hanging from the Bash at the Beach, but she's just pissed off here, and it is in her hometown, Columbus, Ohio, so she'd get a big pop, and she's like, listen, this is not how we're starting here tonight. We were supposed to start off tonight with a nice Liberty Championship qualifying match, but then you guys are coming out here and you're making this all about yourself. I'm tired of this whole argument, saying, oh, this group's the best, this group's the best, this group's the best. Tell you, we're going to find out which group's the best, because if you want to fucking tear the arena apart, you're not doing it here. You can do it at SummerSlam. Okay? So here's what's going to go down. Balor Club, Finn, Ridge, Santos, Regal Coalition, Gunther, Pete, Dudley, Swerve, Top Dollar, Ashanti of Hit Row, Ronnie, Bobby, Bronson, and then Zergus, Humberto, and Akira. All 15 of you just get in the ring and sort your differences out. We'll call it gang warfare. Falls count anywhere. Just brawl around the arena. Get the frustrations out and find out who amongst you really is the best. But for now, for tonight, you can all get out of my arena because you're all banned from here tonight. We'll see you next week and we'll see you at SummerSlam if you can behave yourself. And then they will have to sort of get out. But they don't just leave because that'll make them all look like shit. But they still like brawl. Some of them brawl to the back. Some of them are taken away by security. Some of them like the babyfaces, Tozawa, the Hit Row guys and all them. They just sort of are like, okay, whatever, yeah, I got what I wanted, I'll leave. So yes, from not the same company that bought you Anarchy in the Arena. This is basically this is going to be our version of Anarchy in the Arena, basically. But instead of 10 men, it's with 15 men. Full count anywhere, they're all going to brawl. It's basically a 15-way, but because that's how I will have to program it into the game. It'll just be like a 15-man like battle royal, but it won't actually be. They'll all be in teams, obviously. But big gang warfare, big brawl around Gillette Stadium. Hopefully they don't tear it up in the Boston whatever football teams don't get angry at us. But we're going to find out once and for all who is the top group here on Raw. When all of their members, male members, and not all of them if you're the Regal Coalition, because it hasn't got Dragunov Connors in it, because that would make it an unfair advantage. But yes, just a hot opener, a big brawl. Apparently not that hot because it didn't get that good of a rating. But yes. Also, his name is Gunther now. I just felt like changing it. I'm just too used to calling him Gunther that whatever. We'll just call him Gunther. I would change him to Butch as well, but this is a different character to Butch, so I'm going to leave him as Pete Dunne. But Gunther is the same guy, so whatever. Just Gunther. Then, from that, we get the first, well, not the first, the only Liberty title qualifier match of tonight. Guess who's back? She's been out for like a month, I think, with a minor staph infection. Mackie's back. And she's dropping her bars because it's her and against Alba Fire in a qualifier. The winner will go on to the ladder match to join Florence and Toni Storm in the ladder match. We're going to find out the second Raw participant in the match. I definitely click next segment there. Gets a 75. I'll take that, to be fair, considering there's no storyline and no... and they're not, like, super popular. But Alba Fire defeats Maki Gory Bomb in 8:41. 67 for Maki, 76 for Alba. And yes, Alba Fire punches her ticket to SummerSlam. And actually, in the second year in a row, she could be a part of a 6-woman ladder match at SummerSlam. Last year it was a 3-way tag team ladder match. This year it's a 6-woman, or every woman for herself, ladder match for the mid-card title. But yeah, she joins Toni Storm and Florence in the match. Florence, of course, who has been banned. I've got all the females were involved in the brawl, actually, because none of the women are also booked on the rest of the show, and I did that thinking, oh, I banned them all in the opening segment. So yes, they are all gone as well. We then get a quick backstage segment by Cameron Grimes. He's like bouncing up and down on like a mattress he's brought with him. It's like the shit mattress, because he's got to prepare for the big mattress match, and like, how do you prepare for a big mattress match than like learning how to take bumps on a mattress, I guess. So he's sort of just like jumping up and down on a mattress, like trying to find like where the spots where it hurts, see if like there's a loose spring or something to like smack Jiro on. When Ludwig walks up and he goes, I see this mattress here. And I was like, yeah, it's shit. Like, I got conned out of it. It cost me like $100,000, but it was a scam, and like, yeah, it's useless. And Ludwig sort of just looks at it. He's like, you save $100,000 for this? And Connor's like, yeah, I know. Laugh all you want. And Ludwig's like, interesting. I must have it. Grimes is like, well, I mean, like, when I'm done with here tonight, like, practicing with it, yeah, you can take it for free. And Ludwig's like, no, I wrestle you for this mattress tonight. And Grimes like, dude, I just said you could take it. And Ludwig's like, no, I don't just take possessions, I earn them. How do you think I feel having this on display? If I didn't know I'd earned it. You and me tonight. Winner takes your possession. And Grimes like, well, I suppose I'm going to try and win because I want to just win the match and get momentum on my side, but I'm not fighting hard to keep this piece of shit. Like I told you, it was a scam. And I was like, we'll see you in the ring. Just a quick, like, fun segment to set up a match later on tonight between Ludwig and Cameron Grimes for the mattress. We then cut to Gorilla. Biggie and Kofi with Kevin. Woods tore his bicep, whatever it was, so he's not here for another 2 weeks. So it's just Ian Kofi. And he's like, last week we had to thank Drew McIntyre and Sheamus for, saving our bacon, as the kids say these days, against the grand jury in that final closing moments of the show. But tonight's not about, it's just not about Edge, it's not about Randy, it's not about even Sheamus or Drew. It's about my boy Kofi getting his revenge on Damian Priest and the match up next. Because, last year, me and Priest, we were fighting about being Intercontinental champion at SummerSlam. We were a part of a fatal 4-way to be that champion. This year, he's taking shots at my man E. That ain't gonna fly. So I'm gonna whoop that ass out there up next, Kevin. You'll watch and see. And then Kofi goes out to the ring. It's Kofi versus Damian Priest here on Raw. In the 79, I'll take that. I think Kofi's... I don't even know if he is declining. I think he's just, for some reason, really bad now. Yeah, he's not even declining. It's just, the game has just now decided that he sucks. Like, he was... This time last year, he was, like, my best worker. But the game's decided now that they hate him, I guess. And maybe it's because he's losing to Damian Priest in 12 minutes and 6 seconds with the Reckoning. 78 for Priest, 66 for Kofi. And a big win for the Grand Jury boys. Obviously, they're all out there at ringside. Big E's at ringside with his boy. And after the match, Kofi's laid out when Randy, Edge, and the Vikings assault Big E. And they toss Big E into the ring, and Edge is going to go give him a spear. When Drew McIntyre and Sheamus run out, and they try and get their hands on Rated RKO, the tag team champions, But they run away, but the Vikings are left in the ring. One eats a bro kick, one eats a claymore. And Drew grabs a microphone. He's like, if you two are going to be such cowards and throw these guys our way instead of yourself, we've got no problem in the main event tonight. Me and Sheamus will team up to take on Eric and Ivar of the Viking Raiders. He throws the microphone down. So we've got tonight's main event. Well, the actual main event segment is going to be Cody speaking, obviously. Naturally, if Cody's on the show, he's coming out last. But the main event match will be Sheamus and Drew against Eric and Ivar. And I think that will do really well. I'll give it enough time so they're all good in the ring. They can all call in the match in the ring. It's good. Should be fun. I've got high hopes for it. Backstage, R-Truth with his 24/7 title. Titus walks up to him and is like, Truth, I'm kind of conflicted right now on you, because, naturally, the fact that you pinned my man Slim Shanky here shows that we were right this whole time. You would be a valuable addition to Titus World Records. But the thing is, we don't have to be fighting, Truth. We should be on the same side, A victory for Slim Shanky should be a win for everybody here at Titus World Records. And the fact that you are making this, an individual divide about who wants to be the champion, I know you love that title, and you ever thought maybe it kind of looks like... And he's like, looks like what, dog? Looks like a vinyl. Maybe that's why you're so like it so much, Truth. Maybe you know deep down you want to be a member of Titus World Records. Truth's like, I don't know what you say, dog. I know this is my baby. My baby don't look like anyone else's baby. Okay, this is a unique baby, especially for me. And if you dare get Shanky gets his gobby hands on my baby yet again, I'll put him down again. That's the truth. And he walks off, and Titus is like, well, we tried. And Shanky's there with his backwards baseball cap on, like, yo, yeah, we did. Slim Shanky, I'm the man. I beat Carrying Cross last week. Welcome to the most must-see WWE talk show in history. Welcome to... I assume you said Miz TV. Miz TV. Now, Miz is like, well, last week, unlike Moment of Bliss 2 weeks ago, this is an actual talk show. This is actually going to provide you the content that you were promised on the billing. You see, 2 weeks ago, Alexa had this special guest. She's going to bring out on a Moment of Bliss. And who was it? None other than Logan Paul himself. She had the nerve to say he's an icon, a celebrity, an A-list star. But I tell you, there's no more A-list star than me, than The Miz. So that's why when I tell you tonight, I'm going to bring out the biggest social influencer in WWE today. The biggest social media megastar in WWE today. I'm not lying. And if any of you have come to see Logan Paul tonight, maybe you should have paid attention to the billing. Because like I said, I'm bringing out the hottest, trendiest WWE superstar. And that isn't Logan Paul, that's this man, Grayson Waller. Out comes Grayson Waller. He's got his phone. He's like streaming it on Snapchat or whatever, or Instagram. He's like, is that Miz? I was told when I got into this business that I'd never be anything, Kind of like you. Me and you, we're two sides of the same coin, buddy. Like, you were never supposed to be here. I was a reality star. You're a reality star. But there's also one other thing we do have in common. We both are A-list, When we walk in the room, everybody knows who we are. We're Grayson Waller, we're The Miz, we're the trendiest stars in WWE, The A-list. I mean, you had the A-list faction. I'm more A-list than anyone else in that group, Miz. Let me tell you that. I'm not here to be a fucking protege or anything, Miz. I'm just here to provide you with that social clout that everybody wants to get when they hang around with your boy Grayson Waller, you see. It's like, I don't need social clout. I'm going to get enough social clout when I beat Logan Paul at SummerSlam. Because that's right, Logan, you said you want to wrestle at SummerSlam. Well, guess what? You're going to go one-on-one with The Miz. And that's a bad time for you, Logan. Grayson's like, and I'm going to be by the Miz's side, ready to bop, bang you on the ringside. You think you're some sort of boxer? I'll knock you out, Logan. You never boxed anyone like me. Hell, maybe if you want to bring another friend along, you could team with The Miz and Grayson Waller at SummerSlam. But now who's going to be your friend, eh? It's like, Grayson, that is a great idea. Because Logan Paul has no friends. Logan Paul will never be able to find a partner, which means me and you, we can take it in turns to embarrass that loser at the biggest party of the summer. But as for tonight, I'm here, I'm normally dressed to the nines in my $1,000 suits that you could only dream of affording, but tonight I'm in my wrestling gear. Grayson Waller's in his wrestling gear because we're ready for a match tonight. And whoever it is that thinks they can shut us up, bring your ass out there and let it be heard. Out comes Cesaro, obviously, who last week was who The Miz beat with the help of Grayson Waller. And he's like, I actually have respected you for a while, Miz. I know a lot of people think you're bad, and they've got every reason to think you're bad because you do come across as bad, but if you've been around long, you don't stay around WWE for as long as you have, if you don't have, some redeeming quality. But last week you really proved that you were that scumbag that I knew you were, because who's this guy, really? And he's like, you better shut your fucking mouth, mate. He's like, well, luckily for you, if you want to be here and trend, I'm not here to trend. I'm not here to gain followers and likes. I'm here to wrestle. And luckily for you, I'm not the only man back there that's here tonight to wrestle. Out comes Kyle O'Reilly. And we're going to get a quick tag match. Kyle O'Reilly and Cesaro against Grayson Waller and The Miz. This is really, just like a nice little way to build towards SummerSlam with the Logan Paul shit here. But also, these two teams, pretty fun. This is a good way to experiment how both teams get on. 82. That's fine, I guess. Kyle O'Reilly and Cesaro, I didn't realise before I booked this. If neither of them find anything anytime soon, that could be a fun team to mess around with. But for now, unfortunately, the two here that are going to be at SummerSlam are The Miz and Grayson Waller. So they defeat Cesaro and Kyle O'Reilly by cheating. The Miz cheats to pin Kyle O'Reilly. 92 for Kyle, 87 for Cesaro, 51 for Waller, and a 78 for The Miz. And yeah, I know, look at it. This team won over this team, but what can you do, really? We then get a recap of last week's shenanigans with the Raw Women's title and how Asuka became the new champion. And we just watch that on the screen, and then we see Bianca coming out and making the challenge for SummerSlam. Then cut back to Sarah Schreiber is with Bianca and Asuka, either side of her. It's like, ladies, last week you made the SummerSlam Raw Women's Championship match official. Asuka will defend her newly won title against Bianca Belair. What are your thoughts saying in this match, Bianca? And Bianca's like, when I won against Alexa at Evolution, that's the GM of the show. I was like, the next step for me is to get a title match. And I was down to wrestle Rhea, I was down to wrestle Sonya. I didn't know Asuka, girl, I didn't know it was going to be you, but, I'm looking forward to this match. Asuka, for my money, other than me, because I'm the BEST, other than me, Asuka is the number 2 EST of this Raw Women's division. She's the best, and me and her are going to steal the show at SummerSlam. It's going to be, as the kids say, a banger. And Asuka's like, it will be an honor to wrestle you, Bianca. I've looked at you as a rising star for the 2 years you've been here now, and it's finally time for us to get into the ring against each other for the first time. And to do it for my championship will be quite special. Then Julia and Scarlett walk in, and Scarlett's like, don't think we've forgotten about this, That's Sonya's belt. Sonya may not be here tonight, but that's her belt. We're not going to let you just get away with beating her and dipping, Because judgment is coming. Vengeance is coming. You won't know when, you won't know where. But enjoy SummerSlam, girls. If you make it that far, because next week Raw comes to Madison Square Garden, and guess what? You two are going to have to team up against me and Julia on that show. And Bianca's like, girl, if you don't get out of here yet, you want to wait 7 days for this ass whooping. And Scarlett's like, I'll see you there on Raw next week, Bianca. I don't want to fight right now. Just send in the message. So yeah, just a quick way to because I don't really have anything else for these two on the show this week, because it's a thrown together title match basically, because it was going to be Bianca and Rhea, but Rhea got injured, so I haven't really got much planned for this story, as you can probably tell. So it's just I've got the footnotes, and I had nothing for this week, so I was like, yeah, we'll just do this. It's not a match that needs super duper build up. It's Bianca and Asuka. It'll be banger, Firefly Fun House. Ignore that this is The Fiend. This is, normal Bray Wyatt in his jumper and shit. I just forgot to change the gimmick over. And he's like, Yowie wowie. I'm sorry we couldn't get to you last week, He was kind of busy last Sunday, I thought that me and you, Susie, I thought we'd found a friend. A friend to the very end. Someone that I had so much loyalty to and I thought would have that loyalty for me. But he let us down. He let him down. So now, he's been taken care of. But unfortunately, we did lose a few of our toys on the way. And that's no good. But now, our old friend... And then, as he starts speaking, you see the screen start to, go staticky. And then, we hear a knock on the funhouse door. And Bray Wyatt's like, Susie? And she's like, yes. He's like, did you invite a friend over to play? And the kids were like, yay! And she's like, no. And then the knocking gets louder. And Bray's like, well then who's at the door? He opens the door and in flies a very familiar looking drone. And it casts a light onto the TV in the Firefly Fun House. And then on the TV pops up, yes! Mr. Eater of Worlds, you may have thought that you have the upper hand in this great war. Well, I'm here to tell you now that you will regret what you did back at the Rings of the King. Because now the battlefield must be prepared for deletion. And then Jeff walks in looking like Brother Nero. He's like, and yes, and the Fiend will fade away and be classified as obsolete. And then delete on the screen the funhouse as Bray and Susie to sort of look on, kind of in not terror really, because they don't really get scared, but in shock to see that this has happened. And I've had Matt for a few months now. He's been doing road agent stuff. I've been saving him specifically for this moment. The Broken Hardys against the Fiend is coming. It's coming hard and heavy. And the Great War, the battlefield is being prepared. Who knows when? I don't even know what to call it. They did Firefly Deletion in real life, didn't they? Wasn't that the... No, was that Ultimate Deletion? I can't remember. Ultimate Deletion was Bray and Matt, I think. Because if they didn't do Firefly Deletion, then this is Firefly Deletion. But I thought Firefly Deletion was what they called the actual Matt Hardy Bray Wyatt one. No, Ultimate Deletion was Bray. Okay, so this is the Firefly Deletion. Okay. Got that sorted. So he'd have probably said that in the promo. He'd have said Firefly Deletion and all that. But yes, obviously Matt Hardy became available, and other than him doing road agent work, what else am I going to have him do but Broken Hardy's run? He was a key part of the whole Jeff Bray alliance / feud anyway, so I can finally mention his name and put him on camera because I have him now. So this is the natural next step. No, 93. 83. Ludwig gets an 85 and a 71 for Grimes. And Ludwig wins the shitty mattress that Grimes didn't want anyway, because I imagine it in my head. Grimes goes under the ring, and Wendy Chu's under there. We don't see her, but, Grimes lifts the apron up, and then, confetti or something, it just explodes in his face to distract him. And then Ludwig picks him up and puts him down with his finish. Not a Lotus Lock. A pinfall move. To win the shitty mattress that Grimes didn't want in the first place. But Ludwig, he's a man of honour, He's still got that Matt is sacred sort of, personality engraved in his brain. Where, he won't feel like the item is prestigious if he's just handed it. He has to earn all of his, important items. So he's got a Riddle scooter, he's got El Generico's mask, and now he's got the big mattress all tucked away in his vault. It's just Wendy changing her gimmick. Great, okay, that's good. So now her momentum should be alright. But having to portray Jiro and Wendy, I guess they're portrayed as heels. But in reality, there's no alignments in this feud. It's just two people running a mattress store, fucking about with a customer. But having to portray them, I guess, on the heel side, because Grant is the babyface side of this match, I didn't want him losing clean, is odd, I'll say, but kind of fun. Speaking of odd, but kind of fun. Karrion Kross and the Cross Cult are in their dark, smoky room. Karrion Kross going, I can't fucking believe this. My title's gone. How am I supposed to bring carnage now? Now that my title is gone. The greatest streak in the history of wrestling. Defeated. By that dumb kid. Slim Shanky. But Carcass. Cutler. This isn't how this ends. This isn't how my genocide of destruction ends. This was simply a momentary setback. Because I'm gonna kick more ass and I'm gonna take that Carnage title back. In walks Carland. He says, and you, kid. I'm your hero, am I, kid? You look up to me. You wanna be Karrion Kross. I don't blame you. I'm cool as fuck. But if you wanna be a part of this group, this cult here, you get me my title back. Kid, hurry up, or I'll leave you laying. You'll be my first victim of my new crusade of genocide. And it'll be nothing personal, kid. But I'll leave you laying in a pool of your own blood. From that to this, the only natural transition, anime montage scene, of them training. They've got like Sensei's got obviously a battlefield, like Master Roshi or whatever. Dio and Manny training, Saray training, because they've got a fight against Joe Gacy and the Helpers at SummerSlam. And it's not going to be in like an anime world, it's going to be in the ring, because that's Joe Gacy's safe space, And then, obviously, we see the anime montage. Sensei and he goes, we're getting there. 2 more weeks, we'll be ready. We can take Gacy and his new crew. We can get your pendant back, Saray. It'll all be fine. Because we win with the power of anime on our side. And then we fade away and Gacy and the crew are watching it on TV in Gorilla. And he's applauding. He goes, it appears our friends, they've taken our threats seriously and they're training hard and long. But what they don't know is that it will not be enough. You see, you could have avoided all of this by just accepting me into your life, but you decided to rebel. And Aisling is going to show you what happens to people who rebel. Aziz and Wolf Gruber are going to show you what happens to people who rebel. And I will get everybody to realize that the only way that I can get my delivery across, my message of peace, I just want the best for you all. And if that means needing to force that message upon you, then I guess it will have to be. Then Gacy's theme plays and they walk out to the ring because Aisling is going to be the one wrestling. She's going to wrestle Princess Skylar in her in-ring debut here on Raw. And the match gets a 58. I'll take that, 64 for Skylar, 49 for Aisling. But Skylar was recognizable, so she had to be fed here. Like it's a tag team woman in a singles match, so I don't really feel that bad about it. Her and Aaliyah can get a win whenever, but McPhee Her 49, her in-ring debut. I think she was in the Rumble this year, so people have seen her before. So it's like, not like she's brand new or anything. So she might have a little bit of pop, but not that much. But I do want to get Gacy and his squad up in popularity fairly quick, because I was very selective with the people I put in the group, because they are a group that I want to commit to doing stuff with, and if I'm not sold on the people I pick for the group, then obviously that fades away. So it had to be I had to put a lot of thought into like who could be cleansed, who fits, who's this, who's good, yada yada. And I'm content with the 4 that I came up with, and I'm content with having them establish themselves here on Raw. Speaking of establishing yourselves here on Raw, Mustafa Ali is backstage following his return last week. He's on the phone to his wife. He's like, listen, I know things got out of hand last week, that's why you're not here. Like, I would love to have you by my side every single week, but I can't. It's the people in this locker room I can't trust, not you, okay? And Dixie walks in. She's like, oh, Mustafa Ali, baby, what's up? And he's like, what are you doing? Fuck off. It's like, oh my god, is that your wife? You've got a wife? You didn't tell me you had a wife. And I was like, yes, I did. Like, she was there last week. Like, you saw her. Like, I don't know what you're playing at here, but I'm on the phone. Can you go away? And then Ali's wife's like, you know what? You've clearly got business to take care of. I'll call you back. And he's like, you're late, okay, love you, bye. But picks the phone. Like, you are so lucky that me and my wife are like as close as we are, because they know that there's nothing going on here, and whatever you're trying to do, whatever Garza was trying to do last week, you can leave it be. And she's like, honey, don't you even want to try it? And he's like, what? Swapping. And Ali's like, what do you mean swapping? What is the game here? And he's like, wife swap, I go with you, and your wife goes to Gaza. And he's like, I see, you fucking... Well, no, tell Gaza, okay, I'm interested in swapping one thing, and that's my fist to his face, and he can swap that Intercontinental Championship over to me. Okay? I don't care what his problem is or what his attraction is, okay? But you leave my wife out of this, because I'm here to win championships, and a champion has walked into my vision, okay? So you tell him I'm challenging him to a match at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship. And if he's not a coward, he'll accept that. And Dick's like, oh, honey, you've made a mistake. Because not only have you made him angry, you've now challenged him to a championship match. And an angry Gaza, trust me, from my experience, babe, you've messed up. And I was like, I'll handle myself. Just get out. '89 rated segment. It's almost as if they know this is in Alexa's hometown. She comes out, Tatum and Ivy behind her, looking sort of upset. She's got a contract in her hand. And she's like, what's up, Columbus? Back in my own backyard here, but I'd love to be more happy about it, but... last week was kind of fucked. Okay? Like, the party went off without a hitch. Okay. Lovely, I'm glad everybody had a great time. I'm glad I could be of service at your general manager with little of that to my roster. I woke up the day after. I was feeling great. I, had a big headache, obviously. But I was feeling great about the night. Everything went so well. Until I get my texts from Ivy here and Tatum. And they're like, hey, do you remember anything you did last night? And I'm like, no, but whoever does. Who can honestly say they've never, forgotten things from time to time after they've had a nice night, Only to find out that apparently I'd signed a contract to wrestle a match against Nova Nebula at SummerSlam. I don't remember doing this, and as your general manager, I'm here to tell you that is not legally binding, and the match will not be happening at SummerSlam. Okay? That is all. Thank you, Columbus. Out comes Stephanie. And she's got Nova with her. And Nova's sort of looking like really cocky as well. Maybe even like a lawyer or something alongside Nova as well. Stephanie's like, yeah, that's not gonna fly. And Alexa's like, what do you mean? Like, it's my show here. I don't want this match happening. I can call it off. And Stephanie goes, well, you see, I did leave you in charge of Raw. That is a correct. I did leave you in charge of Raw, so you can book whatever matches you want for SummerSlam. And I can't argue with that. However, Alexa, what you can't do is just disregard company rules. And Alexa's like, I didn't. And Stephanie's like, yeah, well, it very clearly says in your contract as a general manager you shouldn't be drinking on the job. But yet last week, you were drinking on the job. And she's like, oh my god, I'm sorry. It's just everyone else around me was having such a good time and I really want to join in and have a good time. And Stephanie's like, no, look. I get it. I get it. Like, girls will be girls, you know. But I can't let it off, you know, as your boss. So here are your options, Alexa. Either you make good on your actions for breaking WWE Code of Conduct last week by drinking on the job, and you resign as the general manager right now. I'll call off the match against Nova Nebula at SummerSlam. Or I could be, you know, a gal and, you know, sweep that one under the rug and let you slide off. Get away with this one, just a slap on the wrist. But if I do that, the match of Nova Nebula at SummerSlam is legally binding and will be happening. Which do you choose, Alexa? And she's like, oh fuck. And Nova's sort of like up on the mic, like prompting her for a response, like, what do you say? And she's probably in the ring right in front of Alexa at this point. With a mic like right in her face. And Alexa's like holding her head in her hands and she's like, I'll see you at SummerSlam, Nova. And Nova's like, what was that? I didn't quite hear that, Alexa. She's like, I said I'll see you at SummerSlam. And then Nova's like, well, there you go. And then she probably tucks a little $10 in her pocket or something and goes, next round's on me. And leaves. So, Alexa fucked herself over. Match of Nova still a go. Just, you know, fun segments, you know. I'm having a lot of fun segments. I went from back to back from, you know, implied, you know, adultery to drinking on the job, you know. We're getting landish here in August. It's fun, though. It's fun. Unless you don't think it's fun, in which case it's not fun. But you have to bear with me because I'm doing it now. Bobby Roode is then in the ring after we go through an ad and we get back and he's in the ring and he's got a microphone. He's like, no. I need to speak quickly because I know who's about to come out here. I know what this match is. And, like, I think it's bullshit that I'm in this position. I'm the glorious Bobby Roode, a former NXT champion, United States champion, 2-time United States champion, tag team champion. Why me? Why me in this spot? You've got nobody else less valuable than me on your roster? This is bullcrap. But you know what? I'm going to mess it all up for you. It's not going to go the way you want it to because your golden boy is going to take that L to me. And then Wardon's music hits. He gets a big babyface pop because he turned on Tyler Breeze last week, so he's now a babyface. And he's big over. And he powerbombs Bobby Roode in 4 minutes. 72 for Wardon, 84 for Roode. Who was kind of, you know, I think just having like a quick promo where he's like, I mean, I'll try and fuck it up, but I think it's bullshit that I've been put against Wardon. Immediately symbolizes that he's a threat. Like, right off the get-go. Like, this person doesn't want to face him, so he's clearly a big Donnie, you know? But then after the match, Breeze comes out, and he says, what is this? Cut that crappy music. I didn't tell you to come out here tonight. Okay? Buddy. Last week you had the nerve to listen to these people instead of me, the one who signs your checks. Okay? So you listen here and you listen good. You work for me. You don't work for WWE. And I didn't tell you to do this. So you stop listening to this crowd, and you get out of the ring. And the crowd's like, no, 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 and cheering for him to powerbomb Breeze. And Wardon's going, you know what? You're right. I should leave this ring. But I don't wanna. I wanna pick him up and powerbomb him again, Breeze. Who's gonna stop me? And you're wrong. Because I do work for WWE. I signed that contract last week after I powerbombed you onto this mat. Which means now I can do whatever I want to you. And in fact, I know what I want to do to you. And he kicks him in the midsection. Gets him in position for a powerbomb. He's going to powerbomb Breeze into the mat again. Lifts him up onto his shoulders. Bang! Bobby Roode from behind twats him low blow. And then Breeze and Roode 2-on-1 assault Wardon. And he lays him out with the unprettier. And Breeze's like, yeah. You're going to regret signing your life away. Because this is indeed war, but it's not a war that you're going to win. Throws the mic down and leaves. So, I didn't want to go completely just rehash the MJF thing. Which is why I wrote in like, nah, actually he does work for WWE. But it is basically the same story. You know? Big monster Wardon, douchebag, babyface, not a douchebag heel guy. But this time Bobby Roode, you know, who was disrespected by being against Wardon, has aligned with Breeze, it seems. Interesting pairing. There we go, I knew this would do good. This was about what I was expecting. I knew it wasn't going to be like a 90 or anything. 87, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus pin the Vikings. Drew pins Eric with the Claymore in 17 minutes 4 seconds. So a lot of time for this main event here. 87 for Drew, 85 for Sheamus, 75 for Eric, and a 76 for Ivar. And yeah, 87 is good main event. And that should do wonders for the Vikings, you know, because they're not super over. And being in this match will be good for them. Then after the match, they're celebrating when Randy slides in. He hits an RKO on Sheamus. And Drew goes to give him a claim or whatever, but Randy again slimmers out the ring like the little snake he is. And slimmers up the ramp. And then Drew checks on Sheamus. Obviously, he's like, get up. You're right. He's like, I'm fine, fella. I'm fine. And Drew grabs the mic and he's like, Randy, you think you can keep sliding in here? Laying us out when we won't get payback on you? Like a little snake you are. Because this is my first match since WrestleMania. I haven't forgotten what you did to me at WrestleMania, Randy. The reason I was gone for so long is because of you. And I want my revenge. So next week when Raw comes to Madison Square Garden, you, Randy Orton, will go one-on-one with Drew McIntyre. Big match for next week's Raw. Randy versus Drew. You know. Randy cost Drew against Edge at WrestleMania. We haven't seen him since after he got punted. But he's back here, and he wants revenge on Randy. R-Truth's then leaving. He's ambushed by Carlin. He probably picks him up by the throat, pins him up against the wall, and just takes the 24/7 title, and just walks off with it. Doesn't pin him for it or anything. Just steals it basically. And then Truth gets put down. It's like, well, get my baby back. Like, what are you doing with my baby? He's been kidnapped. My baby's been kidnapped. And he runs off back into the building to try and find help. Wrestling has more than one royal family. In a 100 rated segment, Cody is coming out to close the show. And he says, I'm sorry that I missed last week's show, you know. I was still recovering from having two of the most grueling matches of my life. You know, two of the greatest matches of my career. Shout out to Finn Balor, shout out to Seth Rollins. You two are losers only because you didn't win the match, but you were winners deep down because, my God, what a show we put on for the WWE Universe. So after that night, I had to rest up after those two. Some are calling it the greatest one-night pay-per-view performance in the history of WWE. Now, I don't want to toot my own horn, but it may well be up there. But I'm not going to say outright that it was history. But let's talk about history. History is the basis for my entire run here in WWE. The reason I came back to WWE was because of my father's history, my father's legacy. and the legacy that I look to continue on. Now, as your King of the Ring winner, I am earned a shot at either the WWE, the World Heavyweight, or even the NXT Championship at SummerSlam. But I say, why wait? I say, I came out here on Monday Night Raw 4 months ago and I showed you my father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. He held up the WWE Championship inside Madison Square Garden, though he never took home the gold. And I think it's fitting that next week, the world's most famous arena hosts Monday Night Raw. And the son of the American Dream, the American Nightmare, stands here with an opportunity to become World Heavyweight Champion that he can use whenever he wants. So I'm looking at you, Roman Reigns. You are cordially invited, not invited, I demand you come to Raw next week in Madison Square Garden and I finish what my father started all those years ago. Because in the main event, you, the WWE Champion, the head of the table, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, will defend the WWE Championship against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, inside Madison Square Garden. Mic drop. And there we have it. Cody, he's not waiting until SummerSlam to use his title match opportunity. He wants Roman in MSG. He wants him next week. And I guess Roman has to come because Cody earned that right. So, big show next week. We've got Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. I didn't announce it on this show, but it will be announced. We have the return of Logan Paul. We have Bianca and Oscar against Scarlett and Julia. We have a Liberty title qualifier match between I think it's Naomi and Liv. And we have in the main event for the WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. 92 rated show. We take those all the way to the bank. And obviously what matters more than 92 is what you thought of the show. Do let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you on the other side for Heat. Quick episode of Heat here, and it starts with Toxic Attraction in a 3v3 against Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, and Princess Aaliyah. You know, because Skylar wrestled a singles match, so she's 3 to do whatever. And I think Aaliyah scores the highest out of everyone in this match, which is nice, you know. She's finally getting somewhere. 60 for Mandy, 52 for JC, 56 for Gigi, 44 for Kaden, and 59 for Katana. But yeah, just a nice match to give Toxic Attraction a win, because, I don't know, I felt like giving them a win. Speaking of people who I felt like giving a win to, Julia defeats Ashley Scott from NXT, and Julia wins in 7:43 with a diving crossbody. Match gets a 65, she gets a 77 to Julia, and a 35 for Ashley Scott. So she's actually really good, but hasn't really had the chance to show it yet. But now she's a single star. I guess she could be considered a tag team of Scarlett, but she's not. But we'll see what she can do. 71 rated match here. This is okay. I like that Alita was on the desk here because that advanced the story. Because Indy beats Ruby, apparently by submission, in 12:46. Just a nice showcase match. 60 for Indy, 76 for Ruby. And after the match, Sasha gets the mic. And she's like, Lita, you're sat there, you're calling this match. You tell Trish to get her ass to SmackDown this Friday, because I got something I want to say to her face to face. And you're free to come too, because you might want to hear it, but, you know, this is for Trish, specifically. And the main event, 67. Excellent. Love that. Yep. Utami and Shida do not click at all as partners. Good job I tested this. Okay. 10:42, they beat Double Trouble. Utami beats Anne-Marie. Utami gets a 67. 56 for Shida. 57 for Anne-Marie. And a 44 for Kelsey. Yay! I generally might just cheat to get rid of that note, because that's dumb and that will just tank my match. Anyway, the show gets us a 70 rated show. And yeah, what matters more than that is what you thought of the show, and Raw specifically, mainly. And the announcement of next week's Raw and MSG, Cody versus Roman for the WWE Championship. See you then.